some days I will sit down to like knock out design detail that I've been working on for months, no matter how hard I try or no matter how long I spend in the studio. But then, there are these times when I am more like connected with that and just things just happen like magic.
Welcome to the Wear, Wag, Repeat podcast. I'm Tori Mystic. As a dog mom lifestyle expert, blogger, and business owner, I love talking to other women in the pet industry and sharing their advice with you every week. Sit, stay, and listen to the latest episode. If you spend any time on social media, you're probably bombarded with images of things that you need. Shopping haul videos and, this time of year, gift guides. A lot of those promotions are for things with all the latest bells and whistles, and there's always some kind of new release dropping every Tuesday or something like that. It's fast fashion, and it is coming for the pet industry. But not everything is built to last or designed with intention. I sometimes see dog products and I think the person who made this has never met a dog. And this is exactly why I'm excited to bring you a conversation with someone who actually knows dogs and knows how to design really great products that we actually need for our lives together. Jane Lee from Wildebeest created a line of no-frills, functional, everyday accessories. She's pretty much the anti-fast fashion of dog gear, and I love it. I have been using Wildebeest gear for a while now, and I can see how much attention is put into the designs so that there's nothing unnecessary. Every tab, every reflective strip, and every D-ring has a purpose. Jane told me how she finds inspiration. She told me about her design process and a day in the life of an indie pet brand owner in San Francisco. If you enjoy this interview and want to check out Wildebeest, please use code TORI15 to get a discount at wildebeest.co. Jane Lee is the founder and product designer at Wildebeest, a San Francisco-based indie brand that makes no-frills, functional, everyday gear for dogs and dog lovers. Jane is also dog mom to a 13-year-old Chihuahua Terrier rescue named Shelby. Welcome to the podcast, Jane.
Hello. How are you, Tori?
I'm doing so good, and I'm really excited to talk to you because I've kind of been stalking your brand for years and I love your products. And recently I've been lucky enough to kind of work with you on some content and stuff. And I want to know like the whole story behind the brand, which I know a little bit, but not like I'm going to get to know here now today.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on the show. Yeah. So Wildebeest started with Shelby. Shelby is my dog that you mentioned in the intro. So my partner and we adopted Shelby in 2010 as a pup, maybe 6 months old or so. That was already 12 years ago, right? And this was like kind of before the whole kind of modern pet boom and before Instagram and, there weren't all these really like cute dog brands that exist now. So yeah, when we first got Shelby, I just wanted to get her something cuter, something different, especially like we were looking for a dog bed and all I saw were these kind of brown and beige donut shaped beds. Not a lot of options out there. So I would always kind of leave the store thinking I could probably make something a little better, a little more different. So I did. I just went to the fabric store, um, got some materials, and started making a dog bed for Shelby. Um, and she was a really shy dog in the beginning, but like throughout the process of me kind of, playing around with different materials and making her this bed, she kind of really came out of her shell. And yeah, I kind of ended up with this really cool, like shaggy, textured fleece dog bed, like kind of like a mat. Um, and yeah, around that time, a bunch of our other friends adopted dogs around the same time. So I just made a few more to see what they would think or how the dogs would respond. And yeah, it was just a really fun process. And yeah, it kind of inspired me to start something in the pet space.
So you started with the dog bed, and now that your business has been around for like 11 years or so, you no longer have the dog bed, but you have a variety of
Yeah.
other products. So how did that kind of shift happen? Like when did you decide to pivot away from the dog bed and go in a different direction?
Yeah, so I just went ahead and like I I think at the time I was also kind of not in between careers, but I had a full-time job that, was I was kind of falling into like the same routine at this job. And I think I just needed something more, something different. So yeah, it really started as a passion project, like nights and weekends kind of thing. I've been trying to bring the bed back because it is the product that I started Wildebeest with. And there's still nothing like it out there. And it was just a really unique pet product. And yeah, I'm trying really hard to bring it back, but it was a really laborious, like difficult thing to produce. So yeah, we actually went through like different iterations of the beds, like in production, like just different details, how to make it more easily. And so yeah, we were kind of trying different things, and it was just really expensive and hard to make. And when we moved production from California to overseas a couple years ago, that's kind of really when we decided to let go of the bed for now until we can find a better way to make it or a place that can make it for us. I mean, nobody knows how to make this thing. Like we had to train them to make it in the first place. So I mean, we'll see. We're trying to bring a version of it back.
Well, I
Yeah.
like how you explained that you kind of go through different iterations because your products to me are so thoughtfully designed. And I like how you describe it as no frills dog gear. But that doesn't mean that it's not packed with features. It's just not like the frilly features, I guess.
Mhm.
um, so something like the treat pouch, which is one of my favorite things, um, there just seems to be so much attention to detail. You know, it has everything essential on it, nothing unessential. Like, how many iterations do you go through on something like that? When you've kind of been making it for years, does it change over the years, or do you wait until it's perfect to launch it?
Yeah, I think um there's definitely pretty significant like development period, where we design, test, sample, tweak, and like do the whole thing over and over and over and over again, until we feel it's like good enough to, be shown to the public. That doesn't mean that just because a product launches, um, I don't consider that like to be like the final thing necessarily. Like we're always kind of looking for, places for improvement, and or we can make a whole new product kind of based on all those improvements that can be made. So yeah, it's it's a lot of like tweaking, of designs and testing and getting customers' feedback. But a product is always evolving, or at least that's how I see it. So
Yeah. It seems like something like the dog bed, that was like perfect for you and you were making it yourself. But then when it's like out into the world, it's a little bit different when other people are making it or other people are using it. You get different kind of feedback.
I don't know. I'm not like that really into a lot of bells and whistles. So I think my products tend to kind of take on a more simpler form. But yeah, like you said, it is, usually packed with these kind of different design details that are very like functionally specific. And, that's kind of where I start the design process is with these like specific features that I'm trying to build into the product. So
Yeah.
yeah.
One thing that I noticed, because I always look at everyone's website before I talk to them to kind of see what sticks out. And I like on, I don't know which page I was looking at, but it said every product that we put out, it solves a pain point for the user. And I think that's something that's so important because it's not just, oh, I want to make something that's cute, but I want something that is solving a problem that people are constantly complaining about. Those freaking plastic poop bag holders, for example. And you're like, okay, well, everyone hates those. Let me make something that's way better.
Yeah. And I really wish more people would find us or find our products that aren't, as widely available as those plastic poop bags. Like these people just don't know that these products exist. So yeah, I know I still have a lot of work to do to get my products out there to more people. Because yeah, once they find them, like so much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Once they know
yeah.
about it, they can't live without it. And you kind of have a way of keeping them in the Wildebeest family because you have something called the Wild for Life warranty, which I think
Yeah.
is so unique. Kind of made me think you're like the anti-fast fashion. If there is like fast fashion dog accessories, which there are, you're kind of like the anti that, which I love, because I love sustainability and, I want to buy things that last. And if something breaks, I'd rather fix it than replace it. And so you have this Wild for Life warranty. So can you tell us about that and, how that is part of your business?
I feel the same way. So in a way, it was just kind of answering that personal like need for a brand or products that last. They're good quality and will last. If it fails, it can be repaired. Or if not, I love this product so much, can't be fixed, then you get a small discount from the brand. So kind of can keep that like customer loyalty. Yeah, it started out of it's like what I would want in a brand that I purchase from.
Yeah. Well, it's, you do hear people that their dog chewed their leash in half or something. It does happen. It's not necessarily the fault of the leash or really anyone. It's just an accident. But yeah, it keeps them in the family rather than them going out and getting something different. They're like, oh, I could replace this and I get a discount on the replacement.
Yeah. And still, like some of our customers who have been our customers for many years, like don't know about our warranty program. So, we're trying to do better at getting that word out and, including that little message in our newsletters or so people know about it and use it. And like, I really love it when I get a package of like a collar with a broken buckle or a chewed harness from like years ago. Like someone will like send a color that we like discontinued like 6 years ago, but they'll just send that collar in. Like that just made my day, like it's so nice seeing those things like from so many years ago and people are still using their gear and they want to get it repaired so they can keep using it. That's it's always really rewarding to see that.
Yeah, that's very cool. And you can tell that they're using your stuff every day and like years later they're still using it, and that is really cool just to think about. As a small business owner and a small team, you obviously have to wear a lot of hats. It's just the two of you kind of running everything of shipping and customer service and the website, marketing, all the stuff. So how do you kind of break up your day, or how do you schedule your week? Do you have a system, or is it just kind of like whatever happens that day is what happens?
Yeah, it's yeah, it's a lot of juggling of different tasks for sure. And I think, now that I'm in like year 11 or whatever, I think I've just kind of learned to be kind of disciplined with my work. And because I have a family and a kid, I kind of have limited work time now. So try to be really like efficient with my time. But yeah, honestly, I have to say it's a lot of time spent on the computer, whether it's like answering emails or, serving customers or, managing inventory or, purchasing new inventory or figuring out production with my production team overseas. It's a lot of computer work, but I do set aside like 3 to 4 months usually in the beginning of the year, where I kind of go into like a creative hibernation, and that's when I just kind of put my blinders on and I kind of work on, new products for launch later. Not all of them make it to launch, but yeah, that's kind of when I get into like a crazy scientist mode, and my studio looks like there was like an explosion of just parts and fabrics, and my sewing machines are going, and yeah, so that's kind of the fun creative time of the year, and my favorite time at my job, but one of
Yeah.
my favorites.
Yeah, no, that's so interesting. I'm reading this book right now that's about like kind of living and working with like the seasons or like the cycle of like the year sort of, so that it's not like you're not constantly like producing every single day of the year, but there's like times where you're resting and then there's times where you're being creative and doing the ideation process. And then there's a time when you like actually launch it. And like, that's cool to hear that you do have that kind of process. It's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I will say it's not always that the creative juices are flowing in me. So, some days I will sit down to like knock out the design detail that I've been working on for months. Like it just won't happen no matter how hard I try or no matter how long I spend in the studio. But then, there are these times when I am more like kind of connected with that and just things just happen like magic.
Yeah, you got to like just lean into it when it's happening and not push it when it's not. So now that your dog Shelby is a senior, are you kind of getting any new inspiration having a senior dog? Is it inspiring any like different products?
Good question. Yes. Because definitely I do get product inspiration from my own life with Shelby. Definitely like there's a vague idea of, exploring the senior dog products. But yeah, I haven't kind of put that to action yet.
The wheels are turning.
And she's still, she still acts like a young dog, thankfully. She just turned 13 yesterday, so
since she's a smaller dog, she's probably still kind of sprightly even at 13. Like I have big dogs, so at 13 they're like with like a cane, like walking down the hallway.
Yeah. I mean, she's definitely slowed down a lot, but her spirits are still.
So does she love exploring all over San Francisco? Because I know that a lot of your products are named after kind of different places in San Francisco. So do you guys like to go all over the place together?
Yeah, we do. And especially since she has gotten older, we try to make it a point to include her in more family outings. And we take her on all the road trips and stuff. But yeah, like we actually do a fair amount of walking around the city. Yeah, we walk to work. I live and work in the same neighborhood, but it's a nice walk. And yeah, we like to explore and get some fresh air and good sniffs and get inspired. So yeah, we love being out.
San Francisco seems like a very dog friendly place. My sister actually lives there. She's near Alamo Square Park. And so she had a boxer and he just passed away this summer, unfortunately, but her dog walker would take like his pack of dogs up to the park there every afternoon. And her dog would have all these dog friends there that she had never met. But like they would know each other when she would run into them, like, in the morning or in the evenings or something. It just seemed like a great dog culture.
That's fun. I know. I love it when you like go to the park and all the like dogs' names but not the people's.
Yeah, that's usually
I'm sure at all the dog parks.
Yeah, that's my goal. I would rather know the dogs' names than the people's names anyhow.
Right. People.
Well, Jane, it's been so great learning about kind of like your creative process and just like the culture behind Wildebeest, I guess is what I would call it. You have such a unique approach, I think, in the dog product space. So it's really fun to talk about. But could you tell people where to go to learn more and see your products?
Yeah. On our website, wildebeest.co, WILDEBEEST.co. Or you can follow us on Instagram at wildebeest_co.
Awesome. Well, everyone go check it out. Like I said, I love so many Wildebeest products. So I definitely recommend them for you and your dog. So thanks for being on the podcast.
Thanks for having me. It was nice talking to you.
What did you like most about this episode? Find me on Instagram at TMystic and let me know what intrigued you or what questions you have about starting or growing your own dog-inspired business. You can also screenshot this episode and tag me in your stories. I love to see who is listening out there. Some of the best conversations happen after the episode, right? So track me down over on Instagram or join the Wear, Wag, Repeat Labs Facebook group to connect with other dog-obsessed entrepreneurs. And as always, you can find all the links and resources discussed in this episode at wearwagrepeat.com/podcast. See you back here next week.